Okay, so we are going to do a site move, and there are a million variables when it comes to moving sites. We're going to keep this super simple, and then we'll do some follow up classes on all the ins and outs of what could possibly go wrong. So there's probably not enough time for all of them, but so literally, when you're moving a site, a WordPress site, from one server to the other. In our case, we're going to be within the same server. We have a site just called Old Site. I have madcowweb.net is a domain I own. Madcowweb.com is my company website, but I just use .net to have some places like a playground. So we have Old Site over here, and over here I have new site.madcowweb. And you can see this is just a blank empty site. If we go in the back end, there's no pages. There's one post, so it's just completely empty, brand new site. And then over here, I just threw a home page in here, but really not much else. But I just wanted to be able to show the process. And then what we should see when we're done is this cute little flower should end up over here on new site, which is our goal. So, okay, 30,000 foot view. We need to move the content folder, which is WP-content. We can do some zooming here to get some more visibility. So we need the WP content folder, and we need the database. And that's it. Again, a million variables out there. I've been doing this now for 14 years. So it'll just take experience and learning on your end to hit a brick wall and figure out how to get past it. That's kind of the nature of being a developer. So, all right. So as far as the folder is concerned, again, we only need this. This is what I'm going to zoom back out. This is what a normal WordPress install looks like with complete vanilla. It should look exactly like this. You don't necessarily need an error log. That may or may not be in there. Those kind of get built on their own, but this is the whole shoot and match. And so what we've done is we have zipped using the archive tool, and I'm in SiteGround. We've zipped this content folder and we've downloaded it. And you can see that I'm in the old site over here on the left. Again, I'm just trying to zoom, get it big enough. And then if we come up to new site, public HTML, I have a folder, I have a file right here that I've already uploaded just for speed. For the video is old site content, and literally what I do is I extract that. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and delete this content folder because we know we don't need that because we're pulling it in from a different place. And then my old site content, I'm just going to put it in the root, which if you know anything about servers at all, which you don't necessarily have to, but the public HTML folder is the root for, in a WordPress world, 90% of what you're going to be, doing is going to be in here. And then you should see all these files. So I also now don't need this zip file because we've already extracted it. So in this content folder is everything we need. We're in new site.madcow, and then let's go. That's this folder right here on my desktop over here that we moved. So let's go ahead and pull in the database. If you PHPMyAdmin is something you're going to get familiar with if you're not already. I always kind of tell people it's mildly horrifying to be in here, so I do want you to be super careful if you're messing around in here. So old site is the site that we extracted, and I'm just going to show you one little thing that I do when I hit export. Is I always choose custom, and you'll see most PHPMyAdmins. PHPMyAdmin is like an app that runs on the server that gives people like you and I the ability to view and mess with the database. Again, I hardly ever touch this thing because it's a little bit scary. But so the default is quick. I always choose custom. This will almost always be checked. You want to save it to a file, and the only two things that you're going to click every single time is add drop table and if not exists. That's it. And then I hit go. And I've already done it, as you can see, because my database is right here. But yeah, that's just it. Go from quick to custom, make sure it's going to save it to a file, and then add drop and if not exists. And those are almost always unchecked. That's it, and you're done. So now that we have that, and we were doing it. Sorry, we were doing that in old site. So we wanted the old site, and now we have it. So now I'm going to go to new site, and here's the new site database. And you can see that it already says new site. That's the URL that, options 2 and 3 typically on a WordPress site will be URL and home. Those match up to settings, general. Yeah, those match up to these two guys right here. But in general, we're in new site. I want to do an import. I'm going to go grab my file, which happens to be called old site, which is right here, SQL database. I'm going to hit open and hit go. And then one of the more important things you're going to notice here is that when I go into new site now and I go back into my options folder, it now says old site, right? Because we just imported the old site database, which is truly everything. So I'm just going to come over here up into my browser and I'm going to grab that URL, the whole thing. And I'm just going to copy that, click over here in the white area, and I'm going to paste it, sorry. And I'm going to paste it here, click in the white area. So now that's saved. And I swear to God, that's it. We have moved in the file manager, we have moved the WP content folder. We have moved the database. And in this particular case, that's generally it. I am going to show you one extra thing. So every WordPress site has prefixes on their tables. This one happens to be JZR. So when you do move a site, I'm going to come into my new site right here because we're just doing the migration over to there. I'm going to go into the WP config file. I'm going to go ahead and edit it. And I'm just going to confirm that my table, and this is the top of the file, and there's your database stuff, which is fine because we're not changing the database name, user, and password. Remember, we imported into that database. All this garbage is a topic for another class, but the table prefix is critical. So if the database that we imported had a different prefix, and I can just show you, like if I go to a different site over here, yeah, this guy right here. See, this one's WP, which is truly the default. If you do a fresh install from WordPress on your own, I happen to use the SiteGround creator, but these have a prefix of WP. In fact, most of the, what's this one have? Yeah, those are all WP. So these are all kind of just generally built from scratch, and you'll see that most of them have WP. Oh, this one's got a weird one. Look at that. That's got a really nice big, you kind of want a bigger one for security, as I'm told, but oh, this one's PTK. So anyway, so that prefix is pretty important, and I'm just going to check it again on new site and make sure that it's JZR. I'm going to double check my options file where it says new site. I'm going to get out of this file, go away, and I'm just going to come over here, roll the dice, and I'm going to hit refresh. And what I'm hoping will happen is we'll see this, but over here. Let's see if it worked. Oh, look at that. So it still says old site homepage. You can see the URL is old site. This URL is new site. It's got this stuff because it just pulled everything in from the database. So, and that's it. If we had a bunch of stuff in here, if we had piles of pages and posts and WooCommerce products and Gravity form entries and just the whole kit and caboodle, this process, again, with there's potential of a million variables, but this process would get us where we want to be and move the stuff over. All right. Thanks for watching.